Isang maulan na gabi po sa ating lahat and welcome po sa Usapang Hobby. Ako po ang inyong lingkod na si SILVERGE'S. So, ang ating magiging special guest for tonight ay wala nang iba kung hindi si G-Taliér. So, kanyang ibabahagi ang kanyang karanasan sa mundo ng gunpla at gunpla photography. So, bago tayo mag-start, huwag kalimutan na mag-subscribe at mag-follow sa aking Facebook page at YouTube channel, SILVERGE'S Toys and Gunpla Family, and also my Instagram and my TikTok na aking accounts para maging updated kayo sa aking mga toys, gunpla reviews, highlights, and usapang hobby episodes. So tara, let's invite G-Taliér. Hi sir, good evening po.
Hi, good evening everyone. Good evening sir.
And so pleasant evening po sa inyo and sa ating mga viewers. So welcome po sa Usapang Hobby. And I hope sir yung ating mapag-usapan po is marami pong matututunan ang ating mga viewers. So sir, before we start sir, sino po ba yung mga gusto nyong batiin, i-shoutouts or pasalamatan before we start?
Okay, so first of all, thank you for inviting me to your podcast. So I can see one of my friends now on the chat. It's already popping up. So Seb, or we call him Crafta of Laguna. So if you guys don't know that channel, do visit him. He's a friend of mine. He's good. Lawrence, who's been looking forward to this podcast. I don't know if his reveal is online, but I think he is. So if you're watching, dude, just say hi. Of course, my Pinoy 1/144 group family. So Sam and the rest of the admin and the mods, Carlo, Fox. If you guys are watching, sorry, I keep forgetting the names. I'm really bad with names. And of course, my Plamo Builders family. So we have Kuya Alan, Kuya Gino, and the rest of the team. So Nichols Toys, I can see you. So I know you've been reminding me since I posted, these guys. I've been looking forward to this one. So that's about it for now.
Mm-hmm. So, sir, to start with my question, sir, di ba? Before you became a G-Taliér na character, sir, di ba? So, meron tayong nagiging panimula o meron tayong naging reasons kung bakit nag-start tayo sa pagbibuild ng gunpla or pagko-collecta ng mga action figures. So, sir, before you became G-Taliér, so ano po ba yung naging influence or naging reason why you entered this hobby?
90s. I'm a 90s kid. So by that alone, we know what were the shows that were, what were being, shown in, GMA 7. So Gundam Wing. Okay, so that's a given. G Gundam. Initially, I wasn't really into Gundam. I was actually into Zoids. That was my first, model kit or toy line that I really got invested in. And then when Gundam Wing and the Gundam Wing was shown, then it said and so on, the succeeding series, so on. That's when I got hooked because of my cousins as well, who were older than me. So basically my kuyas. So they influenced me, and then I started, and then I stopped for a bit, and then I started getting back into the hobby again. I think just before high school. So I started learning about these new series that were shown before, and then come the latter part of my high school days up to college. That's when I really started getting more serious and changing my views of Gundam or Gunpla in general. So there.
So sir, question ko na rin sir, di ba? So napag-usapan natin yung kabataan mo nung time na nag-start ka, di ba? Hindi may iwasan na that time na yung mapagkumpara natin yung old generation, tinatawag natin mga golden generations nun against dito sa new generation. So sir, totoo ba yung mga kasabihan dati na kapag ikaw ay nagko-kolekta ng laruan, iisipin ka agad, isip bata ka, or hindi na umaakma sa edad mo. So, meron bang ganung klaseng discrimination at that time kung kukumpara natin ngayon na nabibigyan na ng respeto yung larangan ng pagko-kolekta ng laruan?
That's evident. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it happens, especially back then. Since the Philippines is a third world country, you know, most of the time is when you reach a certain age, you're expected to be working. You're expected to, you have your own car or you have your own place.
Mm-hmm.
So for someone at my age, I was born where my parents were or had that mindset that let's say if I reach 20 or 21, I should be working. By 25, around 25, 26, I should be, investing already in a house. But around those ages, I was just simply collecting. So of course they're gonna say, "You're too old. Why are you doing? Why are you still buying these toys? You're already too old at that age. That's marrying age." So there it really is very evident for well, technically speaking, we are the millennials. So that kind of mindset, I'm thankful that it has been slightly changed already, giving the younger generation more freedom to be themselves. But that's the unfortunately in my case that was the mindset that if you're that old and you're getting these toys, it's not good.
Pero sir, 'di ba sa generation natin ngayon, sir, 'di ba? So before it became or nagkaroon ng respeto tong industriya na to, ano ba yung mga possible na naging factor bakit napunta sa ganitong state ang larangan ng laruan kumpara dati na hindi ganoon kalaki yung impact?
Number one, dissemination of information, i.e. social media. So around 2006, 2007, that's when social media really went viral, as they say it now. So, with people sharing, then that means more people who can relate to that person get more into the hobby. So that's where your influencers come in. So social media, YouTube. So the more people become aware of this, what do you call this? The more people can get into the hobby, or the more people can go out of the closet. Not that kind of going out of the closet, but reveal themselves as people who enjoy this hobby. That's why it spreads like a plague now, as opposed to before, wherein it's mainly limited to those who can afford it. Now it doesn't, you belong to the middle class, you belong to the lower class, you belong to the higher class. It doesn't matter. You can get into the hobby. You're welcome.
Pero paano naman, sir, paano mo ma-define ang mga taong talagang passion ng pagkokolekta against sa mga nagkokolekta na para lang sa hype, para lang maging relevant? Paano ang description?
For people who are passionate on Gunpla, there can be several ways to identify them. So number one is the build. So for some people who have been into this hobby longer and have been really invested on it, you can really see it based on their build. It's very clean, even if it's not painted, even if there's no diorama, or they're not joining contests. Their build alone can say a lot. If it's really clean, you can see the work and effort that they put in. They put on their builds. Not that I'm saying that people who have builds with visible knob marks or botched panel lining. No, it doesn't mean that those people are not also passionate. But that's at least for me, in my opinion, that's one of the things that I look at, and that's how I identify. This person is very passionate of this hobby. And then another thing that I can use as identification is what kits are they getting? I think you can you can agree to this one. For those who just want to stay relevant or who are new to getting into the hobby, it's more of the recent series, the kits from the recent series. You have Double O, Build Fighters. Right now it's The Witch from Mercury. But for those whom are really into it, even if they're new, they would be researching. So they would for most people, they're getting Iron-Blooded Orphans kits, while this person, even if he or she is new, he's getting the older kits, the HUCs, or sometimes even the vintage kits. So that person is really, at least in my case, I know that person is really passionate of this hobby.
So, sir, di ba, napag-usapan na natin yung about sa passion and about doon sa For the Hype. Di ba, nabanggit mo nga for those na recent nakakapanood ng series. So, sir, I'm not being antagonistic to this question, sir, di ba? So, sa mga mall kasi, sir, di ba, na-encounter natin na merong iba na nakikipag-usap sa mga kapwa-kolektor na merong talagang may alam sa hobby, may alam sa series, merong ibang masabi na may maalam sila, merong ibang may alam na ayon sa kwento. So para sa sir, kung ikaw yung makaka-encounter ng isang mayabang na sabihin mo, meron ako lahat nito, meron na ako yun, nung bata pala ako, nagko-kolekta na ako niyan. Tapos parang lumalabas, parang is being ng attention seeker. Tapos parang ang nangyayari is, kailangan makinig ka sa akin. So how would you anticipate or paano mo i-approach professionally yung ganitong tao if in case may ma-encounter kang ganitong bagay?
Personally, so the way you would try to have a conversation with this person is, okay, number one, you acknowledge, because if you're not on that same level as that person, you don't have the same big collection or number of kits that he has under his belt, acknowledge it, that okay, hey, good job, good for you, okay, it's good that you have these, you have my respect, okay. When it comes to this, so long as that person, I can speak to that person normally, I would respect that. Some people, they may seem attention-seeking, but sometimes behind that there is a deeper reason. Maybe at home they weren't given that much attention, or they were outright ignored because of their passion, and this is the only time that they can share it. So it's fine. So you just try to understand the person. The only time that you should be reacting in a more negative manner, if that person is bringing someone else down. Like, for example, I have this collection, he doesn't, he's not good, he's not cool. That's not how it should be. If I encounter that one, I will interrupt that person.
Diba, ako parang just to add to that, diba? Ako, sir, syempre alam mo naman na I am in the sales for many years. And I have encountered many kinds of people na merong iba talaga na merong nandyan lang para mangolekta, para ma-stress relieve lang nila yung sarili nila. Merong iba na nagko-kolekta for business purposes. Merong iba na nagko-kolekta just to be relevant, para kumbaga ma-acknowledge siya ng tao. So para doon sa tao na ganung parang kumbaga nag-attention seek sa tao, parang mas maganda na as a Filipino and as a hobbyist na intindihin natin, sir, di ba? You're right, kasi di ba meron mga tao na nagpapaka-relevant na yung iba, ang nagiging perception kagad, ang yabang ng taong to, akala mo kung sino to, napakaangas nito. Parang except na i-judge mo na lang siya agad or mag-conclude ka agad, it's better to know his problems, na tama ka na baka meron siyang psychological problem or meron dun sa industry ang pinapasukan niya or doon sa pamilya niya na meron siyang problema na ito lang yung way niya para ma-brought out yung frustration siya to this hobby kasi dito, powerful siya. Tama ba ako, sir?
Well, yes, correct. In terms of the powerful word, I wouldn't say that he's really powerful now. It's just he's more free to express himself. So you have to understand that not everyone is free to express themselves, or their families their families are openly accepting what they want. So especially with the Filipino mindset, let's be honest, the Filipino mindset, it's quite toxic. So from our elders, our parents, it's good that, like I said before earlier, that it's good now that there's more freedom, but you still have that toxicity level of toxicity, the mindset of most people. So this, I think someone mentioned in the chat that collecting and building, it's a stress reliever. Some people are very vocal about it. That's why you have those people who, who have that, or who has that image of they seem like they're boasting or they're attention seeking. No, sometimes it's not always the case. You should not have that. They call the umbrella approach, wherein just because this person is expressing that he has a ton of kids under his belt, he's not boasting. He's just expressing.
So, sir, before I proceed to my next question, sir, so shoutouts natin yung mga viewers natin. So, shoutouts natin sa una ay si Mr. Sebastian Tamayo, si Nicole Toys, si Jay Conway, si Fon Speak, si Mark Evan Lumbang, si John Frederick Tuason, and kay Mr. Romel Boncillo. Yan, and also kay John Paul Santos. So, thank you for watching Usapang Hobby. So, sir, di ba, nasabi mo nga yung mga bagay na yun about the criticisms, yung mga problems na nangyayari sa community natin in terms of meeting other people. So, sir, bilang G-Taliér, sir, di ba? As a G-Taliér, naranasan mo na rin ba na makatanggap ng kritisismo? Or yung nakaranas ka na ba ng below the belt na pang-criticize or pang-demeaning ng ibang tao? And how do you surpass those kind of situations?
Criticism, I think, I have experienced it. Not often. I think maybe just a handful, once or twice, from what I recall. Normally, if I get those criticisms, the way I would think is it's a feedback, right? And how do you because with the Filipino mindset, unfortunately, when you say feedback, it has a negative meaning. So nafi-feedbackan ka, sabi nila, okay, hindi, pangit yung gawa mo. No, it's not. Okay. Feedback is something, if they're giving you feedback, then that means there's something that you can improve. Okay, or maybe there's something in the way that you composed your caption that that may sound offensive, and you're not aware of it. So that gives you the opportunity to review yourself, review what you've posted, and then see, okay, is there something offensive with what I've said? Did I sound did I sound arrogant with my comment or my reply? And then if I don't see any reason why I should be offended with their feedback, I just ignore it, because everyone's entitled with their own opinion. If they think you are you are mayabang, sorry, I'm losing words. If they think you are mayabang, then if you cannot prove them that you're not, let it go. Don't stress yourself just because you can't change someone's way of thinking of you. You have your life. You have your life. He has your life. Respect his opinion. If he thinks you're this arrogant person, fine. You know yourself. You're not arrogant. You're not. You don't have that meaning. Then fine. Okay. I'm just gonna ignore it. I have a ton of things on my newsfeed. I can just with a flick of a finger, I can scroll. I won't see your post anymore. That's it.
Okay. So, sir, just to add to that, sir, di ba, nasabi mo yung mga statement na yan. So, sir, may nag-message kasing troll na dito sa aking page na SILVERGE'S Toys and GUNPLA Family na ang pangalan is Marvin Reyes. So, yung mga statement, masabi niya dito is, yan ba mga statement mo is talagang napaninindigan mo or hindi? Kasi napapansin ko pa lang dyan lang sa video mo, hindi ka na nagpapakita, hindi mo kaya itong mapanindigan. Totoo ba to, sir, o hindi?
Okay. Apologies, guys, if I'm not showing my face. Unfortunately, I'm not very comfortable in front of the camera because of because before I was diagnosed with anxiety. I have social anxiety, so I'm not very comfortable if people are looking at me and knowing that I'm in front of the camera. I'm not very comfortable about it. I'm way more comfortable being behind the camera than in front of the camera. That's why you rarely see me posting, pictures of me with my kids. It's just mainly my hands. And in terms of the mindset, in terms of what I'm saying, these are things that that I normally do on a regular basis. Not even or even outside of the Gunpla community. These are things that I do outside, even at work, or even just with my family, with my friends. So I know that I know it's hard to believe sometimes. It's okay to doubt. Okay? I mean, you don't know me personally. I don't know you personally. Okay? If you think if you're doubtful that I'm able to do what what I'm saying right now, then that's fine, because I know I can. I cannot show you since I don't know you personally. I will respect your opinion of it. That's it. End of story.
Yan. So, sir, next question na rin, sir, di ba? So, dito pa rin tayo sa criticisms eh. Kumbaga, sir, iba pa rin kasi yung napag-uusapan natin siya ng in live kaysa napag-uusapan natin sa social media para maiwasan natin na ma-flooded or maging toxic yung social media at ma-turn out na hindi na siya maging social media. So, sir, the question is, sir, di ba, natanong ko na rin to sa aking naging previous guest, na meron tayong tinatawag na mga reklamo platforms. Hindi lang sa Gunpla, hindi lang sa Transformers, pati na rin sa mga ibang industriya. So sir, di ba nakikita natin na ang mga reklamo platforms, ang mga purpose nito is para ma-hunt yung mga scammers and also ma-correct yung mga criticisms or yung mga pambabash ng ibang tao. And also nagme-mention sila na isang tao, and the purpose of this reklamo pages is para kesa na maging makalat sa isang official page, this is the page wherein mailalabas natin yung mga hinaing, yung mga sama na loob natin. So sir, sa iyong opinion, o sa iyong salaysay, ano ba ang pros and cons ng pagkakaroon ng isang reklamo platform or pages sa mundo ng social media in terms of
Okay. What's funny is that just a few days ago, me and my friends, co-admins, were actually just talking about this one. I was there. I'm not part of the the pioneer members, but I was already aware that when these groups started, the reclamo groups started, and when I was invited in one, most of the posts, I was actually very happy because they're there to resolve any conflict between, because at the time it's mostly seller versus buyer, so you don't really see that much of the cases of bullying, cyberbullying. It's rare. But then as time went by, I keep reading the posts because I like reading these posts, not not out of enjoyment, but it's more of me learning like how people's mindsets are, on how they how they view things, how they listen to both sides of the story, how they resolve it. And then a few months go by, I can see people gaslighting, but they're really adding more fuel to the fire as opposed to extinguishing it. So, unfortunately, at this point, I've been out of those reklamo groups for, I don't know, years now. But the last time I was in there, it defeated its purpose. Looking at the posts that were in those groups, it's not a reklamo group anymore. It's not a group where you get resolution. No, it's more of gaslighting at this point. And you see people posting hate comments, or if they see a complaint post wherein this person didn't show up on time, or this person didn't disclose that there's an issue with the kit I bought from him or her, and then you can see people in the comments, that person is very rude. I had the same case with him. Okay, and then sometimes you see the admins themselves being there, or not being the better person anymore, trying to resolve the concern. They're just there to gaslight it or to
So parang kumbaga
spread the
ba,
fire.
Sir G-Taliér, mayroon din bang part na may uso rin, o nauuso rin ba ang padrino system sa mundo ng mga reklamo platforms?
From what I saw before I left those groups, it's like that is the case. I don't know now. Okay, I'm not saying it's still the same now. It could have been, it could be improved over the years that I'm not part of those groups, but I don't know. I'm only basing my answer of the padrino system being apparent based on my last experience.
Ano naman sir kung halimbawa I'm part of some mundo ng ibang larangan ng laruan or ibang hobby. Tapos sir, bigla katang shout-out dun sa group na yon, hinatak kita ron. Tapos binigyan ka namin ng mga pambabash. Tapos nag-left ka. Tapos sasabihin namin, wala ka pala duwag ka pala hindi ka marunong humarap sa mga comments namin So para sa sir, ano ang magiging opinion mo about dito? And how would you anticipate this kind of situations if in case na ikaw ay mapabilang sa mga ganitong mentioning ng reklamo platforms?
In terms of this, that it's almost a given that if you have haters, you will be whether you like it or not, you will be brought into those groups. I'm not the type of person who who tries to escape from conflict. If there's something wrong that I did, if something offended you, I'd like to know, because I'm the type of person who speaks my mind. If I say I don't like what you're doing, I'm gonna say it. Now, if you don't like my tone, sometimes that's understandable, right? Even no matter how much you try to say it in a nice way, some people will still find it offensive. So if I'm brought up into those groups and I can see a post, okay, this person is he's very rude, or he's very condescending, or he's looking down on us. Okay, I'd like to get to the bottom of that. Okay, what made you think that way of me? Okay, is there something do I have a takeaway that I need to work with myself? Okay, if that's the case, then I'll be more than willing to adjust, because sometimes I personally I mention things that I think are okay, and then some of my friends would say, "Dude, you should not be saying that. Okay, it's not good." Okay. If I get to that bottom that bottom of that problem, and I see that okay, what I did was actually wrong, okay, then I'll take it. Okay, I'll take it constructively. It's a constructive feedback. Okay? I'm not perfect. Okay, we can all try to be perfect, but at the end of the day, no one's perfect. Let's be honest of that.
And also sir, di ba sa social media ngayon kumpara sa mga dati ngayon, kasi mas madali mag-accuse lalo na kung ikaw ay biktima ng screenshot, di ba? Madaling magkwento nang hindi kumpleto ang convo. So parang ang payo ko na lang din dito sir sa iba, just to add to that, na except na makipagsunugan ka dun sa apoy na susunugan nila, parang it's better na lang din to be silent and focus on your goal. Kasi di ba hindi mo porke hindi ka sumagot duwag ka, or wala kang sa kanila, hindi ka makakapalag. Pero maganda kasi ron sir, there are many ways to prove them wrong in a positive or in a nice way. Tama ba ako sir?
Okay, yes, that's correct. One thing to note though, in terms of keeping quiet, and when there's an accusation of about you and you're not you're not going to speak up. Okay, the downside of that is with the Filipino mindset, it means you're admitting defeat. You're admitting that this person is correct about you. Okay? So I know it's hard when it comes to arguments, because most people, they have very little patience when it comes to arguments. When you go back and forth, usually around the third or fourth reply, that's gonna go way off the topic. Okay, and what do you call this? With that being said, there's there will come a time wherein you just have to shut up and accept that this person will not have the same mindset or will not accept your explanation or apology. Okay, if that's the case, then dude, you have your life ahead of you. Okay, you know for a fact that it's hopeless to reason out with this person. Then stop. Okay, don't waste your effort. Your effort is better better suited for something else that you can do. There are other people out there who need to be made aware. Basing it on what you're doing, then best to invest your effort in those activities. If you really cannot reason out with this person, then okay, fine.
Okay. So sir, 'di ba, since napag-usapan na natin yung mga bagay na so let's talk about naman sa mundo naman ng Gunpla pagdating naman sa merkado or sa nakikita natin sa mga malls, sa mga hobby shops. So sir, 'di ba, nabanggit ko na rin or natanong ko na rin to sa aking previous guest, 'di ba, na dahil sa pandemya, nagbago ang lahat. So dati kasi sir, 'di ba, all of the resources ng Gunpla nakukuha natin eh. Ngayon kasi sir, it's different dahil lumawak na ang merkado ng Gunpla sa ibang bansa. So sir, ngayon, isa sa mga example niyan is yung Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury na mga model kits. Like for example, na si Lufrit na ang SRP lang niya is around 1,200. Ngayon, makikita natin is 1,500. Yung mga aerial reveal na talagang halos, hindi ko alam kung tubo milk tea o sobrang tubo na talaga. Hindi mo na mababanggit anong klaseng tubo eh. So
Tubong
sir, di
lugaw
ba,
na yan.
ano ba ang may ipapayo mo sa mga ganitong klaseng scenario or ano ba yung mga magiging pros and cons if sakali man na may mga ganito lang ma-encounter na SRP, reseller, and scalper price. And meron bang pinagkaiba ang reseller sa scalper?
Okay, so I'll address your last question early on. When you say a reseller, that's just a person, what do you call it, trying to get into a market, getting it from a supplier, most likely not from the same supplier as the major markets, like in our case, Toy Kingdom, Toys R Us, which is Banky. That's right, Banky. Banky is the main supplier of them, and then this person who wants to be a reseller outsources his or her kits to sell. When you say scalper, okay, so that's a reseller. Now, when you say a scalper, this person or group of people will try to hoard a batch. Right? He or she or they are not just trying to get a certain amount of stocks to resell to the market. They're trying to hoard it, and then they're trying to keep it from the demand. Okay? Because the way it works is if you what do you call this? If you hold the supply, okay, what's gonna happen is that your demand, it's not just going to jump, it's going to skyrocket, especially if your series, like let's use the same example, the Wish from Mercury. We know that the kits are really good. Let's be honest with that. Okay? They may not be the best designs, but they're really good. So if you hold those supplies, then you what do you call it? You indirectly have the rights to sell them at your own price. So that's where we see those those people who are marking them up to maybe 80% or sometimes even 100%. I've seen Ariel. I think Ariel's SRP is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 1,000 pesos, right? Yeah. So I've seen people selling Ariel for 1,800 or 2,000 pesos. Okay, that's because they have this. They know that the supply is short. Okay, so if the supply is short, then you have a high demand. If you release a kit, at this price, a person who can afford 2,000, he or she's gonna buy it. So that makes you the scalper. You're hoarding. You're preventing people from, having access. Okay, it's the greedier way of being a reseller.
Mhm. So ano naman sir, 'di ba? Sa napag-usapan na natin 'yan, 'di ba? Lalo na sa upcoming na which from Mercury na full mechanics na aerial na darating sa merkado. So titingnan natin kung magkano ang presyohan niyan. So halimbawa sir, bigyan kita ng isang senaryo, 'di ba? Halimbawa, nilabas ang which from Mercury na aerial na ang presyo is around 2.5. And then sir, may na-encounter ka na nakasabayan mo na bumili ng halimbawa, ang stock is 12 tapos magugulat ka na lang, kinuha ng isang tao is 12 peraso rin. Eh gusto mo makakuha ng tip pero naunahan ka niya. Sana saktuhan mo siya. So para sa sir, anong magiging impact para sa inyo if in case na ang nakasabay mo pala hindi collector kundi negosyante pa?
I mean, that's business.
Mm.
Okay, so you have to respect that person trying to earn. Sometimes what you don't know is that that person is more on the greedier greedier side of things. So he's more of the greedy businessman as opposed to someone who would like to compete,
Mm.
with the businessmen in the in your local market. Now,
Mm.
if that happens, I mean, the person can afford it. Okay, if
Mm.
for me, first come first serve is something that I respect. Okay, so if one person is able to get 12 kits or all the stocks that came in to the store on that day, then fine. I mean,
Mm.
you can afford it. It's yours. As in terms of me being upset of of this person hoarding the stocks, of course I'll be upset, especially if I'm looking forward to that kit.
Mm.
One what was a good example? Um, I can't think of a good example. There was one kit. The forgot. It's not Gunpla. It's another plamo that I really liked. I keep forgetting the name. Sorry. But then when the time came that Toys R Us and Toy Town released their stocks, almost an instant, it's gone. I've been looking forward
Mm.
to it for how many months. So of
Mm.
course I'm gonna be a bit upset because
Mm.
I'm looking forward to it. I've been waiting for it. I cannot get it. But then again, you have to understand there are some people who really have the means to buy multiple. Most of the time, they are your businessmen. Okay?
Mm.
Now it's just gonna be a matter of, is that businessman a fair businessman, or
Mm.
that person is more on the greedy scalper side. So
Mm.
you be the judge. If that's the case, then I'll leave you to your conscience.
Mm. Tsaka just to add to that, sir, di ba, na tama ka, walang masamang bumili ng items. Kasi sir, di naman tayo si Japan na pagka bagong item, 1:1. Walang ganung policy sa atin, si Japan meron, di ba? Which is. Pero kumbaga, sir, ang lesson in life kasi dyan, sir, it's still a business. And pagka halimbawa, sir, na nakita mo yan sa reseller o sa scalpers market, kumbaga, sir, walang masama kung bibili ng customer yun eh. So, kumbaga, may tatlong option ang customer o ang isang builder. Number one, hintayin mo siyang mag-reissue. Kasi regular release naman siya eh. Kung hindi ka man makaabot sa first release, hintayin mo mag-reissue. Pangalawa, pwede kang bumili sa reseller. Pagpalagay natin ang patong 300 to 500. Okay, sige. Yung pangatlo, bumili ka sa scalper, maganda ka ng mga halos 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 kung ano mang presyo yan. Sobrang mahal, oo. Wala sa mga customer or sa mga builder, walang masama kung sa kayo bibili. Pero, ang pinaka bottom line dyan, wag na wag kayong magkakaroon ng regrets or pagsisisi or sasabihin mo, ay sana inantay ko na lang pagka nagkaroon ng reissue ng kit na yun. Like for example, yung upcoming natin na which from Mercury na full mechanics. Tama ba ako, sir?
Yes. So in regards to that, I like what Sam is pointing out in the chat here. It's okay if there are a ton of scalpers, especially for regular release, because like you said, yeah, you just have to wait for a reissue, or to mirror what Sam said in the chat, you let the hype die down a bit, because when that hype dies down, like most people who are very excited or very capable, they already have their stocks or their copies. Whatever comes in, that's going to be available for you. Now, unfortunately, that will be a bit different if we go to the topic of premium Bandai, because we know how limited the stocks are P Bandai. Okay, I think for the allotted stocks, Hong Kong provides Philippines or Shopee Philippines. I think it goes from 50 to 100 max of model kits. So I've seen just a tip for you guys if you want to see how much kits are allocated from the P Bandai shop. You can hit chat. You can hit chat in Shopee, and then it's gonna show you how many stocks are available. For example, Rose, the new HG Rose, they only had 50 pieces. Okay? So if you see people, what do you call this? If you see people hoarding those P Bandai stocks, it's easy, or people can be quick to assume that this person is a scalper. Now, with regards to that, well, let's be honest, mabilis. In the snap of a finger, you see this person posting, "Oh, I got 6 Lifrit." What was the Lifrit? The P Bandai Lifrit. GU. I got 6 GUs. Okay. Then you're gonna see comments. Scalper confirmed. Okay. Have you seen this person selling it? Okay. So you see how quick it is for people to judge. I mean, humans are judgmental by nature. They're just not going to be consciously admitting it. So if you see that, okay, try not to judge immediately. Okay? Because this person may have the access.
Sir, halimbawa, sir, real talking na rin natin. Halimbawa, sir, di ba, naririnig ko rin to sa mga ibang tao na sabihin na, ano ba naman tong si P Bandai shop? Hanggang 6, tinatanggap nila hanggang 6 slots sa isang account, hindi kami nakakalusot, hindi kami nakakakuha kahit man lang isa man lang, masaya na kami pero hindi kami napagbibigyan. Nagfi-feedback kami, hindi kami pinapakinggan ng P Bandai shop. So para sa iyo, sir, ano masasabi mo sa mga kapwa natin Pilipino na nagdadaing na hindi sila napagbibigyan sa concern?
Okay, in regards to that, guys, there's one thing that you really have to keep in mind. Bandai is a business, right? And with any business, what means a lot for them is the profit, is their stocks being sold. So long as those stocks are sold, whatever happens to those stocks outside, be it scalped or put in the fair market, they don't care. They will not care. Okay? You can complain. I think this happened before with the. It's not a GUNPLA, it's a figure. I think what's the metal build, Ava Unit 1. Because what happened, I think that was pre-pandemic. I think it was pre-pandemic, 2019. What happened was the stocks, the moment the stocks were available at the local stores, unfortunately there were these, I'm not sure if they were Chinese or the different nationality, where they bought the whole batch. Not a single Japanese person got a piece, and that was the only time that Bandai reacted. Now, just because Bandai reacted to these people complaining doesn't mean that they will also react to you, because you have to remember, Japan is Bandai's immediate market. Okay, so I keep telling these to my friends who tend to complain that Bandai is not listening to them, or Bandai is not taking into consideration on what they like, on what the market is outside of Japan. You have to remember, guys, that like what happened in the pandemic, it's not us outside of Japan that sustained Bandai. It's the local people. So they're going to focus on what these people want. So long as these people want a certain kit or a certain release, so long as they want that, then chances are Bandai is going to listen to them. Okay? Not there may be millions of people, millions or even billions of people asking for certain kits outside of Japan, but then again, it's not 100% sustainable. So you're going to really be looking at the opinion of your immediate market. Okay, if these people want it, okay, then our profit is assured. Fine, release it. But if you're going to take into consideration the opinion of the outside market, they may want it, but it's not sustainable. As a business, right?
Paano naman sir kung halimbawa ibang senaryo naman, halimbawa ako, hindi ko nabili yung ano sa Shopee. Ngayon sasabihin ko naman, ay pupunta na lang ako sa Japan. Doon nila ako kukuha ng gusto ko. So ang question is dito sa statement na to, na ikukumpara natin yung nakaraan against sa bagong henerasyon nun. Do you think pag pumunta ang isang kolektor o ang isang negosyante o ang isang tao or pagpalagay natin lahat sila is pupunta sa Japan, do you think yung Japan dati is Japan pa rin ba ngayon or different scenario na if in case pupunta sila just to buy the product?
I wouldn't say it's the same. I wouldn't say it's the same because given what's happening right now as a business, if you're running a business, you have to adapt. Now, if things are not were sustainable back then, but they're not that demand is not available anymore, it's going to be different now. Then you have to adapt to that. So I wouldn't say it's the same. Nothing tends to stay the same, especially in the business world, because the market changes. What the consumer wants changes. It's not the same. It's not consistent. They might be they might get customers asking for, let's say, let's use a kit for an example. The build fighters, I think the Gym. A lot of people are asking for that. I have seen Japanese people demanding a reissue of the Gym. Okay, now if before it was okay to be just releasing it, it's not right now with what's going on. It doesn't make sense because you might release extra stocks and you're not going to get profit from it. So or you might those supply might get stagnant. So it's what I call this. There's no point. So you really have to adapt. There are a lot of things that are being taken into consideration when it comes to running a business, especially for a business that creates products and not just creates product but also reissues previous products. So there's a lot of things that are being considered. In your question of is it the same before and versus now? No, it's not the same. It will never be the same.
Yeah. So, sir, before I proceed to my next question, so shoutouts din natin si Sir Dave De La Cruz ng Zerk. So, shoutout sa inyo, sir, and I hope po, sir, na marami kayong makuhang idea dito sa ating podcast na Usapang Hobby. So, sir, di ba, to proceed with my next question, sir, tungkol pa rin to sa merkado natin, na makaka-relate to sa specialty mo o sa specialty ng mga kasama mo. Ito yung larangan ng toy photography. So, sir, di ba, nakilala ka as dahil na rin sa mga photography. And sir, matanong ko na rin to, sir, di ba? Kilala ka hindi lang dahil sa photography, pati na rin sa pag-send ng mga pictures na mga pangit ang posing sa mga mall. Na talagang you give criticism or binibigay mo yung mga opinion ng mga bawat collector sa mga nakikita mo sa mga bawat mall at sa mga kasama mo na nakikita nila sa mga shops or kung yung mga posing ng mga gunpla nila. Na, which is, sorry, real talk, mga pangit na posing. So para sa iyo, sir, ano ba ang masasabi mo dito? Ano ba ang purpose or goal mo? Bakit nagpipicture ka ng mga pangit ang posing sa mga malls ng mga gunpla? And how would this benefit the Filipino community?
Okay. Before I answer that question, shoutouts by the way, Purely Post Gunpla, if you're watching, our #1 go-to in terms of sending these questionable poses. For me personally, the reason why I got back into the hobby is because of a very good, is because of a very detailed display. The poses were really good. I think it's not a kit actually. It's a figure of the Aegis. I remember that very clearly. It was the Aegis Gundam. I think it was an MSIA. Mobile Suit in Action, if I recall correctly. That wasn't a kit. I'm sure that was a figure because of the joints. And then that's the reason why I got back into it, because I saw it. It's being a kid, you're very imaginative. Okay, so if your target, if companies like Toy Kingdom, Toys R Us, and Toy Town, their target are children. Okay, so you want those children, what do you call this, to be excited, right? To have their imaginations triggered, okay, whenever they see your product. So one way of doing that is to showcase your kids, showcase the products that you are trying to sell in a way that would entice them. Because let's be honest, for most children these days, if they say, "Mommy, I want that," "Daddy, I want that," chances are this parent is just going to pick it up, head to the cashier, let's go home, paid. Right? So with that being said, like I said, you really have to entice your target. So in my case, that was what enticed me to buy kits. I can see the action, and then I can see the the pose is similar to what I've seen in the show. Okay, so that really doubled my hype. Okay, so for me personally, I think I've said this to you before. It saddens me a bit to see these sad pose. I don't want to say sad poses, but let it slide for this instance. Yeah, those sad poses that I can see in malls. That okay, how are you? I keep asking myself, how are they supposed? How do you expect to entice a child if they just see this this product? It's just like there. It's just like standing. You might as well just show it in the box, because the box, they have the box art. Okay, so it defeats the purpose, because that's also the reason why I think there was an article released before by Bandai about why they have such box arts. Because before, if you recall, the older HUCs, they're really stiff, right? They don't have that elaborate artwork in front of it. But one of the reasons why they opted to have those more detailed, more elaborate, action poses in front of the box is to really show the capability of the product, and also to entice people. It becomes an eye candy for the person. Now, if you have that box art, the kids these days, they have very good box arts, and then you show the actual product just standing there, or not even holding its proper accessories. What do you think that child, given that children these days are much more aware of their of what's going on because of social media, what do you think that person's going to think? Is that person going to think that, okay, this thing is cool? Really? Oh, that's not how it works. That's not gonna work.
Mas may yung posing nakagano'n lang, no?
Yeah, I've seen worse, and it's if that kit, that model kit can talk, I can see the speech bubble saying "kill me now." So there are some poses like that. I think I did share one. Someone in our admin group shared a photo, and then there's a Barbatos at the back, and I just had to crop that and then edit it and say "kill me now." So sometimes I see those poses in malls, and it saddens me that from the display, I clearly remember back then when I got back into the hobby, and then the displays now. The only question I have, or one of the biggest question I have, is what the hell happened? The hell happened to you guys?
Pero sir, di ba, para sa akin, sir, this is my personal question. If in case man na may makapanood man ng isang staff ng isang mall or isang brand specialist ng GUNPLA, sir, ano po ba yung mga additional na maipapayo or may bibigay mo sa kanilang tips para yung mga nakikita natin sa pangkalahatang merkado sa mga mall, magkaroon sila ng awareness or ma-improve nila yung pagpo-post ng GUNPLA na makakatulong hindi lang sa mga bata, pati rin sa mga kids at heart.
Copy the box art. I mean, you have the product. I know those products come to you guys pre-built. Some of them, they may have broken parts. They may not have complete parts at all. But since you have those products to display, and most likely you have the stocks, okay, for you to sell, then it's better to at least copy what's on the box. Okay, not everyone's imaginative, or not everyone has that high level of imagination, but the box is right there. The post is already given to you. Why not just copy it? It's not a matter of working harder. It's just working smarter.
So, sir, di ba, since nabanggit na natin yung posing, sir, di ba, papasok na dito yung upcoming natin na Gundam Model Kit Contest 2023. So, sir, di ba, sa tagal na rin or sa mga taong lumipas, sir, pandemic ang naging hadlang kung bakit hindi na natin nagawa ng mga previous years yung mga live at nagkaroon lang tayo ng mga online competitions or photography competitions. So for this 2023, ng Gundam Model Kit Contest and sa future event natin na Gunpla Builders World Cup 2023, ano yung mga theories or predictions mo against dito sa magiging upcoming contests natin against sa mga previous contests na dumaan?
Okay, so with what happened with the pandemic, I don't see that much change with with how the contest, the competition is going to proceed with that. But what I would like was, from what I've seen, there's a controversy, but I'm not going to discuss that or open that topic. But from what I've seen is that it's like the judging has lost its teeth, if you get what I mean, when it comes to rating the finished product. So hopefully what I want is for for that level of judging to be restored back, at least back to its original state, if you get what I mean. Because right now, from what I see, it's not a very it's easy to join, but it doesn't have that same thrill as it had before. So it's become soft, from what I say. Yes, I know it's just a straight build. There's it's mainly just applying decals, and then just painting the kit straight, but that's it. So what I want is what I call a more strict form of judging. So hopefully that can be implemented, and for the team, the team that will host the competition, to be really comprised of those who have the knowledge of the of this hobby, and not just someone hired because they have a good voice. No offense to I know you guys have you have those. I'll leave that to your to the business team, but that's one of the things that I don't like is, if I go to a competition, I expect the team handling the competition to be very knowledgeable. Right? That might be my own criteria for for a competition in general, because there are a lot of things considered. There are the costs as well that the business will have to shell out to have the competition, to even have the competition. But that's what I want to look forward to. To be honest, when I joined GMKC before, I really joined it because of the thrill. It was really pushing me. Now, I know I'm not a customizer, so I'm not for a GBWC material. I'm mainly a straight builder who can paint. I'm not a
Paano
good
naman,
painter
sir,
as
kung
well.
halimbawa, sorry to interrupt, paano naman kung halimbawa, sasabihin ko na, ay, ayoko sumali dyan kasi para lang sa magagaling yan, hindi naman ako kagalingan eh. At saka wala naman ako mapapala din sa GMKC kung sasali ako eh. Kasi i-criticize lang ako ng mga builder doon dahil hindi naman ako kagalingan. Yung mga elitista ang mag-criticize sa akin. So para sa sir, anong feedback mo?
I mean, it's a competition. Okay. First of all, it's a competition. People who will be joining, 99% of those people are there to go against each other, and not just to just to say that okay, I joined. No, So you'll really see those people really competing, really criticizing. Okay, I like this build. Okay, this guy could have done this better. You will have that. Now, if you're not really open to, again, the feedback, okay, if you're not really open to those feedback and criticisms, then best to stay away. Okay, I mean, if you're already enjoying the hobby without the competition or without joining any such competition, then that's fine. Diba? You have it your way. There's no law that dictates that when you go to this hobby, you must be joining these. No, you enjoy the hobby how you want to enjoy it. That's it.
Tsaka just to add to that, sir, di ba, na natutunan ko to sa akin naging previous din, na ang kompetisyon para sa lahat, ang award para sa magagaling. So, kumbaga, sir, walang pumipigil sa iyo na sumali ng contest. Kumbaga, sir, if you're there to have fun, to bond with your friends, and to influence or to inspire other people by building Gunpla, it's okay. Pero if you're there for competition, you're gonna have to do your best. At the end of the day, ito lang ang magiging bottom line dyan. Kung sasali ka ng contest, dapat handa kang makriticize at dapat learn to accept and to absorb those criticisms para moving forward, yung ano man yung mga naging mistakes mo sa nakaraan, yun yung magiging use mo or papapakinabangan mo sa mga magiging future competitions moving forward. Tama ba ako, sir?
That's correct. So, I mean, champions were not born champions, right? They were born newbies. They were born, with zero skill on that particular side of things. So how do you think this person went from that level to the champion level? Because they were competing, they were training. So if you're not willing to, if your mindset is that competition is just for those who are good, okay, if you're not willing to compete, then that's fine, don't join. Okay, so long as you are happy with what you are doing, okay, there's nothing wrong. Like I was just about to say it. Sam said it. There's nothing wrong with not joining. Okay, that's totally fine. Okay, it's a hobby. It's your hobby. Okay, you're not bound by another person's view of the hobby. Okay, you're on your own. You have your own mindset. You follow it. You do it as how you want to enjoy it. If you're the type of person who enjoys gluing everything, okay, including the joints, making it essentially a statue, fine, right? You're happy with it. Okay? Even if someone says, you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, hey, it's my kit. I will do what I want with it. If you're not comfortable with what I'm doing, look somewhere else.
So, sir, follow-up question lang dito, sir. May nag-message sa akin, cartoon character, control ako na naman to eh. Ang pangalan, Marsimelencio eh. Na ang sabi daw niya, nung nakaraang competition ng GBWC, nanalo nga daw na plagiarism daw ang nangyari. At para sa iyo, sir, sa iyong opinion, sino ba dapat ang sisihin? Do you think involved ang official distributor dahil sa mga nag-place na to or yung sa mga nanalo na to? Naniniwala ka ba dito, sir?
Hard to say. With what's going on right now with the country in general, corruption is not uncommon. So you can see corruption. Let's be honest. Corruption number one. That's on the government side, but well, that's not our topic today. But then again, corruption can be as little as having someone inside and influencing the result. That's already corruption. Now, I don't want to say that I don't want it to be seen as I'm pointing out that it's really a corrupted move. No. Okay. So if this person, I mean, I've seen the topic that was heavily criticized. In terms of plagiarism is taking someone else's work. Okay. From what I've seen, there were some tweaks on it. That also goes with the topic of copyright, like that intellectual property. So if it's the exact copy of it, then yes, you can call it plagiarism, or you can file for a copyright claim. However, if they make some changes on it, it may look similar to it. Okay, your chances of winning a copyright claim or a claim of plagiarism becomes less, because there's already a personal touch from that person. Now, what happens there is, what would matter most, right, with that kind of topic of being accused of plagiarism, when you yourself know that you have not plagiarized, you just so happen to have the same idea, or you may have been inspired by a previous entry that won years before. It's more on your response as the builder. Okay? So it's not going to blow up just because of the plagiarism topic. It's because of the person who built it. Now, if you're not taking the criticisms that people are providing, not taking it lightly, or you're lashing out to these people, then it becomes a worse topic than it already was. So you can, again, that goes back to our topic on those people who you really can't reason with. If you really
Tsaka, sir,
can't
diba,
reason with that.
Tsaka, sir, di ba, parang just to add to that, sir, di ba, hindi natin kasi pwedeng i-conclude kagad. Kasi itong itong nag-message na to, alam ko nagpapatrigger lang to eh. Parang nagpapaputok. So, sa akin kasi, sir, sa pananaw ko kasi rito, I think na hindi involved dito yung official distributor. Kasi, una sa lahat, kaya nga distributor eh, the only role is to distribute. Wala nang iba. Diba? Alam mo yan, to distribute lang. Diba? They're not involved, they're not making it politically. So kung sasabihin nila na involved ang official distributor, sir, here's to that. Kung babasahin niyo yung contest doon sa Gundam Philippines, di ba nakalagay doon, meron tayong tinatawag na parang pre-registration. So, di ba? So, possible yan, sir. Kasi ako, theory lang to kasi since I'm not involved in GBWC. Kaya nga meron tong submission ng picture para ma-judge yung mismong entry mo. Since pandemic at that time, hindi makakapunta si Kawaguchi rito sa Pilipinas, they have to judge it online. So, paano kung questionin kita, sir, di ba? Ito lang yung question ko, sir, di ba? Diba, registration, may magpapasa ng picture. Ikaw ba, sir, aamin ka kung edited ang picture mo o hindi?
No one's gonna do that.
Di ba? So,
Let's be
kumbaga,
honest.
sir, that's one of the factors din na, kumbaga, yun yung naging basihan. Yung iba kasi ang naisip doon nila, nung pagdating dun sa competition, dun daw ginudge. Yung nagpipicture daw dun. Actually, para sa akin kasi hindi. Kasi kaya nga may submission of picture para mapakita yung entry mo on that eh. At sa tingin ko, ang nag-judge kasi niyan, sir, si Bandai. So if they have questions doon sa nanalo, dapat hindi yung official distributor yung tanungin nila. Dapat ang tinatanong nila yung Bandai mismo. Tama ba ako, sir?
Okay, so in that way, yes, I would agree with that. Not to conclude, you do not provide your verdict outright, because so long as it's not proven, okay, it is covered by what you call the benefit of the doubt. So it may or may not be. So if you're claiming that these, the distributor is involved, that's possible. But so long as you have not proven it, they can escape that. Right? You have that benefit of the doubt. So that's the thing. So long as nothing is proven, then your claim is not going to be valid. If you want if you're claiming that you're sure that the distributor or one of the judges or one of the photographers was the reason why this person won, then
kasi parang
by law,
nadagdag ko kasi diyan, sir, nung tinignan ko kasi yung competition, walang judge eh. Walang judge. Pagdating kasi doon, ang purpose nung mga nandun is to display para may pakita ng tao. Tapos pagdating doon sa tinahanap nila yung judge. Parang kumbaga, kung ikaw mismo, kung gagamitin mo logically, talagang dahil sa pandemya, may judge niyan through online. So syempre, we cannot say kung sino yung judge. That's the ministry to that. But I think, sir, ang possible nag-aanon. Since nag-aanon sa Bandai, there will be a possibility na nag-aanon pa rin si Bandai. Di ba?
Yeah, there's a possibility that the mistake or the air quotes corruption came from the judges themselves. But again, since we have no proof, there's absolutely no proof of whatever the claim is. We cannot say for certain that what really was the case. So it's going to be hanging. It's a case that's going to be hanging. Okay, so you can either let it go, okay, and then if you're not comfortable joining the competition anymore, again, there's nothing stopping you from not joining the contest. That's that you're entitled to your opinion, and it has to be respected as well. If your opinion of that competition went down because of that incident, again, that is an opinion that has to be respected. If you lost your trust, okay.
Just to add to that, sir, di ba, na for this 2023, I think na yung mga naging flosses or yung mga naging mistakes doon sa magiging 2022, I think ito yung magiging time para i-correct yung mga naging pagkakamali for this competition, sir.
I would agree to that because of what happened. You can almost call it a fiasco with what happened in the recent competition. The organizers and of this event really should learn from the feedback of the competitors, the joiners. You really should listen to them. If you think something's not working, let's say sending a photo it's not really working, then might as well reconsider a different approach in terms of judging. You can do it live. You can ask the person to go on live, and then that's where you can judge. Because if it's on live, what are you going to do? Apply a filter? No, it's not how it works. You're not going to be able to edit it, just like the podcast now. Okay? You won't be able to edit this one. Okay? Whatever you're hearing right now is the real thing. Okay? Whatever you're seeing right now, again, hello, that's the real thing. Okay, so you can do that. So again, it's a matter of feedback. We're going back to the topic of feedback, since there is there is this incident. As the organizer, you have to look at this. What's going on? Why are these people upset? Because these people are your potential market. They're joining because they bought your products and they are going to buy your products going forward. So if these people are unhappy with you, with what you've done, that's not just going to affect the image of your competition. It's going to affect your market. It's going to affect your business. So as the organizer, you really have to look into it. So check the feedback. What's going on? Let us know what's going on. Once you know what's going on, then you can work on the resolution.
And also, sir, di ba, para ma-add ko rin dyan na kung ano man yung magiging hukom or yung judge doon sa magiging competition, especially for this year's competition, sabi nga ni Sir Dave, #respect. Kasi we have to stick by the judges' rules. Every judges has their own taste. Since na hindi na siya online, dito na natin makikita talaga yung totoong paghuhukom or yung pag-judge. Again, respect. And kung ano man yung makita nila dun sa perspective nila, kailangan natin tuturin yun, sir.
That's true. Because, a judge, you may have criterias for judging, okay? But each person who's following a certain criteria, let's say the cleanliness of a build, okay? That's one of the criterias. So, yes, it's part of the criteria for judging. But this person, one judge can be different from another. Because for one person, okay, there's that level of subjectivity. So for me, for example, if both of us are judges, let's use this as an example. So as you can see here, this mobile harrow posed in here. For me, I might consider it clean, even if I go around it looking at different sections of the kit, I may consider it clean. But for you, it might not be the same case. So since nabanggit mo yung sa competition, sir, di ba? So dito pa rin tungkol pa rito sa mundo ng photography, sir, di ba, na para sa akin malaki rin yung naging contribution mo rin
Kasi 'di ba, isa ka rin sa mga naging wake up call sa mga ibang tao, especially through posing para mabigyan ng awareness yung mga tao kung ano ba dapat nila makorek sa mistakes nila. So my personal question is for you, sir. How would you introduce G-Taliér to the Filipino community? Kasi 'di ba iba ka mas kilala ka sa international compared sa Filipino. Eh. How would you introduce G-Taliér to the Filipino audience?
Um, to be honest, I don't really care if I'm known internationally or locally. I have no intention of, seeking attention, seeking attention everywhere else. But if I were, I've been posting. Well, right now, I'm rarely posting locally because I don't really dwell too much on my personal Facebook page, or not Facebook page, my Facebook profile, which is where most of my local groups are. I don't really post there too much. And then in terms of communities, yes, most of the communities, both locally and internationally, they they like it. They like action poses. Okay, but sometimes when you're exploring it, you can post something locally that might not be taken the way you wanted it to be taken. Like it's not you're not getting, in terms of the likes and comments, you're not getting as much attention as you do in the international groups. But sometimes you do something funny, like like these drunkards over here at the back. Okay, so most people locally will find it funny because they can relate. It's a matter of being able to relate. Now, if I were to introduce myself in again in the local community, then I would look for something that these local people can relate to. So it could be a lazy Friday mode like the one that we have at the back, or it could be a lazy Monday posing. It's not necessarily action posing. Okay. Unfortunately, I lost the example photo of that because I have a justice before that was posted where the hands and legs are dangling. The caption is, "It's just Monday. It's Monday again." So on that post, I noticed that the local community liked it more than my international community. So if I went again, it's a matter of relating, posting something that they can relate to.
So sir, di ba, nasabi mo nga is freedom. So when we speak of freedom, sir, di ba, just to educate, hindi to criticize our hobbies. So sir, question ko na rin dito, sir, is paano ba yung tamang paggamit ng gunplay is freedom? Kasi gasgas na kasi sa community natin. Paano ba yung tamang paggamit ng salitang gunplay is freedom?
Oh boy. Okay, so gunplay is freedom. God, I love that line. Technically, you are free, right? You're free to do whatever you want. Okay, there's no guideline per se that says, if you're, for example, I have Xeon. Most of the kids here are Xeon kids. There's no guideline to say that if I'm collecting Xeon, I can only build them. I can only build Xeon kits, or I cannot mix and match. No. Okay, that's the freedom part. But when you say the what they call it, the way the phrase gunplay is freedom becomes negative if that person, for example, because there are, let's use groups for example. There are some groups that are strict when it comes to what can be posted. Okay, because I'm part of one. Because I'm a high grade enthusiast, a 1 to 144 scale enthusiast, and the group I'm in focuses on gunpla that are on that scale. Now, it becomes, or the phrase gunpla is freedom becomes negative if that person, for example, posts a master grade, which is a 1/100, and you decline it, and they say, "No, gunpla is freedom. I can post it." Okay. That's not how it works. And to to go back to a previous, way earlier incident before the phrase "gunplay is freedom," came into being or came into existence. There was one incident in an international group that happened before. Unfortunately, the culprit was a Filipino. The main admin of the group said, "Okay, please adhere to the rules." He was speaking, he was speaking nicely to the person, and then this dude suddenly said, "No, I have my own rules." So why? So that's like that's what you call this. That can be that can go into the negative use of the phrase "gunplay is freedom." Going back to my example, a person going against the rules and just saying "gunplay is freedom." No, that's just plain stupid. Okay, sorry for those. Sorry for those who are watching and are not comfortable with such words. But again, that's the only way I can express it. It's just plain stupid. Okay?
Tsaka sir, di ba parang hindi naman tayo nandito para ipamukha sa kanila na mali sila. Ang point lang dun is, meron tayong mga terminologies na dapat tama natin siyang ginagamit. Hindi para gawin natin siyang reason para lang makalusot tayo dun sa mga naging pagkakamali natin sa hobby.
Correct. It should not be an excuse. Okay. It should be the purpose of that phrase to begin with was a positive what do you call this? Was a positive to have a positive meaning. Because if I recall correctly, that episode was in Bill Pfizer's Try, and that was a Tryon 3, if I recall correctly. Because they were really shocked to see a super robot S combiner in the gunpla competition. Okay, so gunplay is freedom. I mean, you're free to build however you want to build it. It's just that you should not, like you said, it should not be an excuse to go around, your mistake. That should not be your excuse. If there are rules are there to be followed and not to be broken, and not to use the gunplay is freedom as an excuse. No, that's not how it works. Again, going back to my statement, you're just being plain stupid.
Yan. So, sir, to proceed with my next question, sir, di ba, na since na you're established, kilala ka na rin ng mga iba sa community, and moving forward, mas marami ka pang magagawa sa mundo ng gunpla and sa gunpla photography. So, sir, bilang isang G-Taliér, how would you see yourself 10 years from now?
Personally, I might still just be doing the same thing. Although at the moment I'm moving away from gunpla, not permanently. I'm just taking a break from building gunpla. Recently, I've been focusing more on what they call this, other plamo, and sometimes also other figures. Yeah, perfect term, Sam. Burnout. I'm already getting burned out. But from here up until 10 years from now, I'm most probably going to be doing the same thing. Okay, so I'm not just going to be sharing full action poses, because I've also taken a liking to, as you can see at the back, wacky posing, okay? Which I find, for me, it was initially just a stress reliever for me. When I started the whole gunpla gag hashtag gunpla gag series, and then I found out that it also helped other people who you don't know were actually having a rough day. So that's why going forward, I'm going to balance it more, because right now I'm still leaning towards action poses, but going forward I'm gonna go more with something more relatable than simply just action poses.
Paano naman sa face reveal daw, sir? Nagsabi ng troll account dito, kaya ka magpapakita.
Maybe within those 10 years, I might get more comfortable being in front of the camera. However, right now, I'm really sorry, guys. I tried Because before the podcast, I was trying to I was doing test videos of myself, not live though, of course, but I'm really uncomfortable seeing my face on camera, so I'm really sorry, guys.
Naku, mukhang masisenda ka para ng picture nila Boss Sam.
I mean, it's okay. I think I did a podcast with the Mobile Suit Hanger, along with a friend of ours who is a posing enthusiast as well. I mean, if they want to see how I look, then they can. Sorry if I'm endorsing the channel on your page, but that's the only source that I know that they can see my face. But other than that, of course, there will be photos of me for those who know me. They know how I look, and what they call this, they can just refer to that. Other than that, I'm still just going to build my confidence being live on camera. That's a takeaway.
Kumbaga, malaking ano rin to eh. Saka kumbaga, for those talaga na gusto ko talaga sundan, malaking bagay rin to, lalo na kila Mobile Suit Hanger na makilala rin. Sa mga hindi nakakaalam, Pilipino po si Mobile Suit Hanger. Yan, so sa mga gusto follow din si Mobile Suit Hanger, i-follow nyo rin siya sa kanyang TikTok, sa kanyang Facebook, and sa kanyang YouTube. So may mga tao rin talaga na sadyang ginagawa nila yung best nila para ma-contribute dito sa hobby natin, and I hope hindi lang po ako yung sundan ninyo, pati na rin po yung mga iba natin kasama. So sir, this is my last question na lagi kong tinatanong sa mga kapwa ko fellow hobbyist. So sa mga bagong henerasyon na papasok sa mundo ng pagkokolekta, lalo na po sa mundo ng gunpla at sa photography, ano yung mga piece of advice na maipapayo mo sa kanila? Na in case na yung mga napag-usapan natin sa mga positive and negative sides, in case na ma-encounter nila, ano yung mga solutions para moving forward is patuloy pa nilang ma-enjoy yung kanilang pagkokolekta or pagbibuild ng gunpla?
Okay, so number one mindset that you should have as an upcoming collector, builder, or content creator, or whatever you want to be in this hobby. You cannot please everyone. There will be a person whom you cannot explain yourself with. Okay, ganun sila katigas ang ulo. Okay, so if you encounter those people, take it. What do you call this? It's either you learn from whatever they are claiming, or you simply move on with your life. Okay, you don't get bogged down, or you don't get stuck because of a conflict that you had with this person. No, this community is huge, and I mean huge. There are a lot of people that one person may not be able to appreciate your work or what you're doing, but then again, there are thousands more that can appreciate your work, and your effort and your attention is best directed towards them.
So, sir, before I end this podcast, sir, so this is a chance for you para makapag-shoutout, pasalamatan, or meron po ba kayong gustong i-promote po sa inyong page? So, I will give you this moment, sir, so take it away.
Okay, so number one, guys, please subscribe to SILVERGE'S channel, his social media, don't forget. Okay. I'll be honest with the viewers. I'll be honest with you guys. Before, I was an outright hater of SILVERGE here. I think we've discussed this before, right? I was an outright hater. I didn't like what he was doing, and then having listened to several of his podcasts, because he also featured some of my friends, then I realized that he's not that bad. He's tackling issues that are in our local communities. So go through his previous podcasts with previous content creators and other hobbyists as well, and it's really good. You'll get more awareness of this hobby. For other promotions, of course, my buddy, the Mobile Suit Hanger, I think he's still watching. Please do subscribe to his channel as well. In my case, G-Taliér, you can. I'm in Facebook. Instagram most of the time, Twitter, but not so much active. I just simply retweet in Twitter. What do you call this? Of course, Type F Hobbies, Lawrence. So he's also one of those builders that I really respect when it comes to straight build. Fun to Build Gunpla. Shoutouts to Fun to Build Gunpla. He's one of the resellers that I really enjoy going back to. Even if other people would say he's putting too much in terms of on top of the SRP, I don't care. I get early access. Okay, I have that privilege. Junk Tech, who's an emerging accessory builder. Okay, Nichols Toys. Okay, with all his fun antics. Chasing Through the Decade, a buddy of mine who's unfortunately he's currently on hiatus right now, so hopefully he gets better soon, my dude. Of course, our groups, Plama Builders group with Kuya Allen, Pinoy 144 with Sam, and then we also have Biohazard, a group with Seb. So there's a lot more, but I'm not. Unfortunately, I can't say this because it's gonna be a very long list. But other than that's gonna be it for me.
Yan. So, sir, ako po ay patuloy po na nagpapasalamat na naging part ka ng aking podcast, and I hope sa mga upcoming mong posts na pagkatapos ng podcast so ay mas marami ka pang ma-inspire at matulungan pagdating sa larangan ng Gunpla at sa Gunpla photography. So muli, sir, ako ay nagpapasalamat po sa inyo, sir, at magandang gabi po sa inyo.
Likewise, sir. Good luck with your channel.
Good luck po, sir. Thank you. Yeah, let's check. Yan, so isang na namang panibagong episode ang natapos ito sa ating podcast na Usapang Hobby. Ako po ay patuloy po na nagpapasalamat sa inyong patuloy na pagsuporta. So, sa mundo kasi natin talaga ngayon, alam na natin na pahirap ng pahirap eh. Maraming pagbabago, maraming mga trials na dumating sa ating buhay. And may mga tao man tayong nakakaaway, meron man tayong mga iba-iba ang pananaw sa buhay. Pero lagi nating intindihin sa buhay na as long as yung goal natin is yung tama, wala tayong tinatapakan ng tao, at ito'y makikinabang para sa lahat. Ituloy lang natin to, at ang makikinabang nito hindi lang tayo, pati na rin yung mga bagong henerasyon na papasok sa hobby. So before I end this podcast, huwag kalimutan na mag-subscribe or mag-follow sa aking YouTube and Facebook, SILVERGE'S Toys and Gunpla Family, and also sa aking new account na TikTok and sa aking Instagram para maging updated kayo sa aking mga toys, Gunpla reviews, and Usapang Hobby episodes. So hanggang dito na lang tayo, guys. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga nanood. Happy collecting and God bless. See you next time dito sa Usapang Hobby. Maraming salamat po.